Have you ever noticed that some people seem to attract money without chasing it? They stay calm when others panic. They make moves when others freeze. And the crazy part? They don't even seem obsessed with getting rich. Epictetus once said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." That one line holds the key to building lasting wealth, not just money, but the kind of abundance that sticks. Let me tell you about a friend of mine. We'll call her Lynn. 2 years ago, Lynn was broke. She was working 2 jobs, constantly stressed, and every time she got paid, the money vanished. Rent, bills, Uber, jollof rice. Repeat. Then something changed. No new job, no sudden inheritance. Just a shift in how she handled herself, how she felt about life. She wasn't chasing money anymore. She was choosing how to show up emotionally. And slowly everything changed. Now she runs her own small design studio, works half the hours and has more. More peace, more options, more cash in the bank. What happened? Most people think money is about strategy, hustle, goals, networking. And yeah, those things help, but they're not the root. Because the truth is, your income will rise or fall to the level of your emotional control. Let that sink in. If you feel desperate, money runs from you. If you feel anxious, you make bad decisions. If you feel small, you don't ask for more. But if you can master the right emotional state over time, wealth has nowhere else to go but toward you. That's what Epictetus taught. Not how to make money fast, but how to become someone who attracts wealth just by the way you live and think. It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Let us break down the 5 emotions that bring consistent wealth and abundance, starting with the one most people overlook. Epictetus said, "There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will." Here's the thing. Calm is not passive, it's powerful. Calm people move with clarity. They spot opportunities because their mind isn't fogged by panic. They don't force things, they flow. But calm takes practice. Remember Lynn? A year ago, her biggest breakthrough came during a moment of chaos. A client canceled on her. It would have wiped her account. She almost broke down. But instead of spiraling, she sat down, made tea, and remembered this. Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens. She focused on what she could do: reach out to past clients, cut a few costs, get creative. Within 2 weeks, she landed a bigger project than the one she lost. Here's the shift. When you're calm, you stop reacting and start responding. Let's say you're trying to save money. You make a budget, you're feeling good. Then suddenly, your car breaks down. What do most people do? Panic. Whip out the credit card. Blame life. Stress scroll TikTok until midnight. But someone practicing calm would pause and say, "What is in my control right now? What's the next small, clear step I can take?" That one emotional response is the difference between spiraling into debt or finding a smarter solution. Calm is wealth. Calm keeps your mind open. Calm lets you wait for the right deal, the right hire, the right move. Calm keeps you from selling too fast, buying too quick, or quitting too soon. And here's the punchline. If you can't stay calm when you're broke, you won't stay wise when you're rich. Let's start with something Epictetus said that doesn't sound like financial advice, but absolutely is. He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. Here's why that matters. Most people wake up already behind on goals, behind on bills, behind on where they thought they'd be at this age. But when you live in that constant gap between what you want and what you lack, you blind yourself to what's already available: skills, connections, time, health, ideas, all of which can create value and wealth. Let me give you a real example. Ted was a junior developer trying to break into tech full-time. He applied to job after job, no replies. He got discouraged, thought maybe he wasn't good enough. But then, one day, he sat down and wrote out what he did have: a laptop, 2 online certifications, a GitHub full of small projects, a friend who worked at a startup. That tiny act of gratitude flipped his brain. Instead of waiting for a break, he used what he had. He emailed that friend, asked to volunteer on a feature build, and within 3 months landed a paid role. Gratitude didn't make him rich overnight, but it opened the door. What if you're not stuck? What if you're just ignoring the value you already control? Gratitude isn't about being soft or spiritual. It's tactical. It gives you momentum without needing more stuff. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. And here's the punchline. If you can't value what you already have, the world won't either. This one might hit a little harder. It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. Most people can't grow wealth not because they lack opportunity, but because they refuse to let go of who they think they are. They're attached to their self-image. I'm not a business person. I'm not someone who negotiates. I could never charge that much. But here's the deal. If you want a different life, you have to be willing to detach from your old story. My friend Nina was an artist who kept underpricing her work. For years, she thought charging more would make her look greedy or arrogant. It wasn't until she let go of that self-image, the humble creative, that she started earning what her talent was worth. Quick question. What identity are you clinging to that might be undercutting your value? Let it go even just a little. Detachment isn't rejection, it's freedom. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. This next one might surprise you. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. That's Epictetus reminding us of one key truth. Real growth often looks messy at first, and in the pursuit of wealth, a lot of people kill their progress just to protect their ego. They don't ask dumb questions. They pretend to understand the meeting. They nod along when someone says equity stake, but secretly have no clue what that means. But here is what I've seen over and over. The people who win are the ones who are willing to be beginners, over and over again. I'll be honest. I've been that person who didn't ask, and it cost me. Now I ask every question. I Google terms mid-conversation. I don't fake what I don't know, because humility compounds. You learn faster. You grow faster. You close the gap between who you are and who you're trying to become. If you're too proud to look dumb, you'll stay broke longer than you need. Final emotion. Maybe the hardest. Trust. Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do, and your life will go smoothly. Epictetus is not saying don't try. He's saying don't force. There's a huge difference between building intentionally and obsessing over control. When you trust the process, you show up fully, but you stop panicking when things don't go your way immediately. Remember Emmanuel, the guy who shifted into cloud work? He didn't see results for months. There were times he doubted everything, but instead of quitting, he trusted the process. He didn't demand instant success, he just kept showing up. That's the game. What would happen if, for the next 30 days, you did your part and let go of the outcome? Trust brings peace, and peace brings power. No man is free who is not master of himself. Here's what happens when you ignore this stuff. You get smart people working hard, burning out. You get entrepreneurs who sabotage their own success. You get years wasted because someone didn't know how to feel calm, or grateful, or let go. I knew someone, let's call him Felix, who had talent, discipline, and ideas, but he never felt secure. Even when he was making 6 figures, he constantly felt poor. Afraid, he clung to money like it was oxygen. And because of that, he lost friendships, lost trust, and eventually lost the thing he feared losing most, his business. It wasn't a strategy problem, it was emotional. He couldn't detach. He couldn't rest. He never trusted the process. Epictetus said, "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them." Felix didn't need more money. He needed different opinions about failure, about control, about himself. And here's the hard truth. If your emotions run you, your money never will. Here are the 5 emotions that build real wealth. 1. Calm, because chaos makes bad decisions. 2. Gratitude, because seeing what you have creates leverage. 3. Detachment, because clinging strangles growth. 4. Humility, because learning requires openness. 5. Trust, because control is an illusion and progress needs patience. You don't need to master all 5 today. Here's one small move. Tonight, write down which of these emotions you resist the most. Be honest. Is it calm? Is it trust? Start there. Don't try to fix it, just notice it. And remember what Epictetus said. No great thing is created suddenly. You're building something bigger than just wealth. You rebuilding the kind of self that knows what to do when the storm comes and doesn't panic. Which of these 5 emotions has cost you the most in your life? Comment below. I want to hear your story. If this hit home, like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We go deep here and we keep it honest. Thanks for watching. And remember, wealth isn't about what you chase. It's about what you feel first. See you in the next one.